Welcome back to the Phil Rosenberg Show. I am your host, Phil Rosenberg, and today's episode is terribly exciting for me, and really for everyone who enjoys film and film festivals, because with us right now is Meir Fenigstein, the founder and executive director of the Israel Film Festival, which has been one of the main drivers and enablers of Israeli films for the past 34 years. Over 1,000 feature films, documentaries, TV shows, and short films have been presented through the festival. But Meir wasn't always a kingpin of Israeli film. He began as an actor, producer, and musician, for which it is of particular note and an especial pleasure for me to acknowledge Mr. Fenigstein's stint as drummer for the 70s rock band Kaveret Poogy. I hope I said that correct. Which is a band often likened to the Beatles, albeit the Hebrew version of same. So welcome to the show, Meir. Really a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
In your early life, you were really on fire also, right? You were creative, talented, and driven, really a force to be reckoned with in Israeli pop culture. So I want to know, what was it like to live as a young man with that kind of passion and that kind of notoriety? Do you have any regrets, things that you should have done, or maybe things that you wish you hadn't done?
I don't have any regrets for anything that I did, because I usually do the best that I can always. And also every festival, I say, next festival, I can do it better. I'll try to do it 25% better in every, and I'm doing it already 34 years just in Los Angeles, without counting 3 years before that in New York. I'm really doing it for 37 years.
So this brings me to my next question. So the early 1980s and the first Israel Film Festival, for that first iteration, what were you looking for to showcase? And what was your initial vision about? Like, before you even got to the very first one, what was the kernel of the idea?
So what happened is I went to, after the group disbanded, I acted in a couple of films in the troupe, and then in Aunt Clara. I acted for a year in the Jerusalem Khan. It's a theater group. And then I got confused. What I want to be, a theater actor, film actor, a musician. By coincidence, somebody asked me, "Are you doing a film festival?" And I said, "No, what do you mean a film festival?" He said, "That I can help you. If you want, take 6 films, and I will help you in advertising, marketing, and distribution." And I said, "You know what? It's not a bad idea. I like this idea. Let me find out if there's some other films." And then I went back to Boston, and I put together the first New England Israeli Film Festival, 6 films for 4 days. I thought that I'm going to lose the shirt, but in the first screening of the troupe, this guy is coming after the screening and said, "Listen, everybody should know there's a festival here. This is so exciting. Where's the ad? I want to put in the Boston Globe." We put it on Sunday, the 4th day, 5 screenings, sold out, 600 people in each screening. I came out with $15,000. You understand? So
this sounds like a good idea.
And then I moved 3 weeks later, moved to New York, and 9 months later, I opened the festival in New York in February, where the first day was ice on the street. Ice. Yeah. Getting there, I'm sure that nobody will be there. And was full house, 250 or 300 people. And the assistant of the mayor spoke, and the consul general from Israel. And then the festival didn't work in New York because it was freezing. The second week, it was in Queens. And then the sun came out, and in Queens, was all the screenings sold out. I was lucky, just lucky. That's what I can say.
Let me help you with that part of it, because I always say, I always talk to our mutual friend, Ellen, I always say, luck is not a real thing, because even though you're saying you're getting lucky, but think about how much work and effort you have to put in.
That's right.
Put yourself into the position where if things become favorable, you can take advantage.
I agree with you.
This amount of luck, it's not going to help somebody who didn't prepare themselves.
That's right.
I think you have to take credit. So a similar question, slightly different. I would like to know, what you kind of mentioned this. To what extent do you feel the Israeli films penetrate American culture, the American market? But let me ask this in 2 ways. First, within the American Jewish community, and then the wider community as well.
Okay, so from the Jewish community, we try to bring every year new films. In the beginning, it was difficult Wasn't so many films were made in Israel, but slowly it got a little bit. We had more, like almost close to 15 to 20 films. Now they've around 30 films every year, so I can pick and choose. Um, but the idea is that I really wanted to reach Hollywood. I wanted to reach to the Hollywood community, from the producers, executives, the studios, because I knew that there's some Jewish people there, that some of them love Israel. I wanted to do a festival in New York, and I did two galas, one in the Waldorf Astoria, and then one at the Beverly Hilton in Los Angeles. By coincidence, I got a phone call from the consulate in New York, in Miami, and in Chicago. Why not to bring the festival to those cities? I said, no, I'm going to do four now. This is crazy. But I decided to do four. People calling from all over for tickets. You know, and you're talking about 15 years ago, when computers weren't so happening, and it was difficult.
So let's talk about that, because this is a really big opportunity in a way. You're forced to do it online. So, okay, yes, there's something missing from the experience if you can't sit in the theater and see it, the sound, the space, sharing the excitement with other people. On the other hand, look at who your audience can be now. Not 600, not 6,000. It could be any amount of people, right? Anywhere in the world.
But it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work. You know, we're doing it for the first time. It's very difficult. People don't understand exactly how to work out, how to bring it to the television. It it will take a little time to make it. People don't understand. You know, suddenly they have a festival, virtual festival. But I believe that they will learn, and it's going to work out.
Exactly.
You know,
Both worlds combined. I think
that's right. We have two screenings in the theaters and one screening virtual of every film.
You've been doing this for 34 years. Does any one year stand out in your mind above all the others?
The 30th anniversary was pretty big because it was the day after Donald Trump election. The day after. Tuesday is the election. Wednesday was our opening night with 500 people at dinner at the Beverly Wilshire, the most expensive hotel almost in Los Angeles. I was sure that at least 200-300 people are not going to show up. Everybody showed up. Everybody honored Natalie Portman and Sharon Stone and the president of the Jay Sanderson, the president of the Jewish Federation. And it was a big success. And the festival was a big success.
I'm very curious about this. I wonder how you get to this, how do you decide what are the metrics for which films make it in or out? But in particular, I'd like to know, what role, if any, does Israeli politics play vis-a-vis your choices for the festival?
No. We are apolitical. I'm lucky me that I'm not left and not right. In the film business, we are in the art and in the creativity and making people happy and enjoyable. That's I did it in the music, and I did it also in the festival.
This is the perfect answer, because my next question is going to be related. I wonder, because there are so many Palestinians who are Israeli citizens. So I'm wondering what percentage, a small percentage, a large percentage of the films that are presented begin in the Palestinian community and then end up in the Israeli Film Festival?
We don't have this year, if I'm thinking, any Palestinian related, almost nothing. If there's no a good film, a Palestinian, doesn't matter, I will take it,
Of course.
But if it's something very, really against Israel, we're not going to take it. If it's a film about, a human film that, a good film, a quality film, absolutely we'll take it.
So historically speaking, that's not been a barrier. You've had Palestinian.
No, not yet. We had Palestinian movies with Palestinian actors, and we flew them into Los Angeles or to New York. Never been a problem.
Great. Great. So what are you facing this year besides the pandemic, or maybe is it just the pandemic, that makes this year different than every other year? And how have you managed to overcome?
Pandemic is a big problem because everybody was affected.
Of course.
Film industry in Hollywood was extremely affected. and also the sponsorship from the film industry. Us, we got affected. So we have a lot of celebrities that join us in the festival. We want to show it to the audience that they will know that beside showing Israeli films, we are trying to do something else, connect the Hollywood community with the Israeli film and TV community. As you know, the TV community in Israel really is doing extremely well. It's something really beyond my imagination to see how the TV are doing so well and so many studios are buying, and CBS and Hulu and Apple Plus, everybody's buying Israeli TV. They're almost competing between them to buy an Israeli TV. So it's great. This is
Pretty
absolutely.
amazing.
I wish it wasn't films, but it's in TV. It's incredible.
I understand you've got this year's festival, which takes place in LA, coming up in just a few days. So, with the format change because of the pandemic, of course, can you just give the audience the idea what's behind it? This is like right around the corner. When exactly is it going to be? How are you promoting it, and how can people access it?
They go to our website, and this is www.israelfilmfestival.com. The festival for the first time will be virtual online. It's going to start on December 13 and run till the 27th. Usually that's the length of our festival, 2 weeks. We're going to show about 25 films. We have new feature films. We're opening with Asia, Israel's entry to the Academy for next year, for 2001. And why it's really worth it to watch if somebody is interested in Israeli film. First, because we have 12 new Israeli films. Second, we have 5 documentaries. And third, we have 7 Israeli kind of Oscar winners from the past decades. And all of them were Israeli entry to the Academy. So are really, really good films, like the best in the last 10 years. And the most exciting thing that I can offer this year is we have a Q&A with all the filmmakers from all the films.
All right. Well, Mr. Meir Fenigstein, I want to thank you very much for joining me today. I know your coming festival in just a few days is going to be a huge success, as have the others been, because you're a flexible guy with a lot of great ideas. And I know that you always approach obstacles as just things, another thing to get past. And this is going to be no different in that regard. So I want to thank you very much. Wish you the best of luck. And I'm going to be tuning in myself. I can't wait.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi, this is Phil of the Phil Rosenberg Show, and I'm here to ask you to do me a small favor. Just take your finger, reach out, click the button that says subscribe. Just take your finger, reach out, and click the button that says subscribe. I need a bunch of subscribers. The more subscribers I have, something good happens. I don't even know what that is. They tell me I got to have more subscribers. I believe them. So please do that for me. I'd appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy the show.